It's your boy ConserViz34, and today I want to talk about a show I went to yesterday. It was to see Umphrey's McGee in New Haven, Connecticut at the College Street Music Hall. A nice small little venue in New Haven, Connecticut. And it was a great show. I want to talk about that. Well, let's flash back to a year ago. Today I'm recording this on January 26th. And this was my second Umphrey's McGee show 1 year ago on this date. And one of the unique things was the lead guitarist, Jake Cunninger, was sick and he did not make the show. Doctor's orders was for him to rest at home. So I saw a unique show, especially for this band, where they don't have people just sit out or not show up. They'll just cancel a show. To see the band without their lead guitarist, really the heart and soul of the sound is Jake on lead guitar. So it's a cool show. Joshua Redman, a sax player that is on some of these recordings for studio albums and plays with the band almost every year. He was there. He was supposed to be there already, but he kind of filled in to take a bigger role with Jake out. So flash forward to yesterday, Thursday night in New Haven, gun waving New Haven, as they say. And it was a great show. So we want to talk about a couple of things here. And to me, this was my fourth show ever. Saw him in 2016, once in Boston, twice last year, New Haven a year ago, and then on my birthday, October 21st, towards the end of the year, night 2 of a 2-night stand at the Capitol Theater. So that just gives you a little perspective of my show experiences with this band, fourth show in. Been listening to the band on all sorts of devices of mine since about 2011, 2012-ish. My boy from college got me into Umphrey's, and at first I wasn't really that big of a fan. I thought they were cool, but it's a band where it can be a steep learning curve to appreciate exactly what they do. And really now in 2018, as I've gotten more heavy into their actual catalog, I appreciate them a lot more. You can say I'm even in the honeymoon stage of really liking this band. I can listen to them all day. If they were closer shows, I probably would have tried to hit up 2 or 3 of them. Couldn't make the Beacon run last week. But let's talk about this show. My best recollection of this show is really the fact that they were Mantis songs. That album, Mantis, is my favorite studio album by Umphrey's as far as the recordings. For jam bands like Umphrey's McGee, most of the studio albums aren't going to be close to the quality of the live show. But Mantis, as an album, is a great studio album that also is good live. So to hear Cemetery Walk 2, Preamble, and then Mantis, all 4 of those selections are songs I really like, and I was glad I heard them. Let's talk about set 1 and what I thought was great about set 1. And that really is the run, and we'll start from the middle of the set to the end. Number 5, I wanted to hear that song. I'm glad I got to hear the song. Then went to Phil's Farm, to Whistle Kids, one of the new songs, and then Cemetery Walk 2. This was the greatest run throughout the concert to me, although the end of the second set was amazing. But as far as a run, half of that set, really, I thought that was the best part. Song after song after song. So shout out to set 1. And set 1 being as good as it was, it set a tone for set 2. And it's really what led to this being my favorite of the 4 Umphrey's McGee shows that I've been to. Let's talk about the new songs. There were 2 new songs from their new album, It's Not Us, that was released earlier this month. An album that comes with their 20th anniversary of starting out 20 years ago. They had Whistle Kids in set 1. It's a song that they did on a Sirius XM little venture a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was great to hear it live. It's still short, but you know what? That's great for this band that has a lot of longer, lengthier jams to their live songs. It was nice to have a little bit of a quickie with Whistle Kids there. And some of the improvising that Jake did, the lead guitarist, compared to the studio track that I've been listening to quite often these days since it just came out. It was nice to get a little bit of additional riffs and little jams in even a short period of time. You then have Looks. That was the beginning of set 2, the first song. That was the other new song, and I thought again it translated fairly well live. It is a little bit different live, and that's really just with the studio effects, the compression, all the different things that go into making a studio album. It's gonna sound different, but still great. Great way to start off set 2 with a new song. And it's nice when you have a band like Umphrey's that creates an album 20 years into their career that you look forward to listening to live. And this was, Whistle Kids and looks were great. I would have liked to hear Remind Me, but they've been playing that recently a lot. And this is a band that mixes up their sets, so I thought, I probably wouldn't get it because it was just played at the Beacon. So it is what it is. We have some guitarists here. We have the rhythm guitarist and really the lead singer, Brendan Bayless. He played on Cemetery Walk 2 to close out set 1. He was on some keys messing around. Thought it was a pretty cool thing. Now, mind you, this is my 4th show. I don't see what the guitarists are doing with the live recordings I listen to audio only, so I don't know. Maybe they've done this before. If you're a fan, a diehard fan, let me know if you've seen this. But it was cool to see Brendan on the keys for set 1. Then for set 2, Mantis, we have right before the really breakdown. Really, it was the breakdown for Mantis. They made it a little more clubby, and they had Jake, the lead guitarist, on some keys as well, messing around. So cool to see those homies on guitar, rhythm, and lead. Mix it up and head over to the keys area there for some of the show. My favorite song that I liked this show was Mantis, and even the little break into the Beatles cover, I Am the Walrus. Mantis is probably my favorite studio album. That titled album has a track on it called Mantis as well, and that song was great to hear live. It's my favorite studio track because when you listen to it in its studio form, it's very epic, it's great, it transitions very well for a band that's really more about the live show. And I was glad to hear it in its entirety, and with a little bit of remixes, and with a little bit of a sidetrack to I Am the Walrus. And it did not disappoint live. It's a really, really great song. I think it's some of their best songwriting, and it is, to me, it's some of their best kind of themes, thematic schemes that they've had for one song, to have so much in one song that's not improvised. Because a lot of their great music is stuff they improvise that wasn't on the studio album, but to have this set in stone for the studio album, to have it as a skeleton for the live show, I love Mantis. So, I mean, really, that's it. As far as the venue, it is a nice, slightly smaller than average venue compared to the other venues that Umphrey's does across the country, New Haven being a smaller town than most of the major cities they hit up, like they'll be in Philly tonight for another show. So it was nice. I was in the balcony, and I must say, or actually, excuse me, I was on the loge. So they have the lower standing room, and then the upper deck has the front called the loge, and the back is the balcony, and the loge was nice. I was 3 rows back, kind of just a couple seats from dead center, and it was a great sound. It was a great view. People were sitting down, but being that I had worked 8 hours at work and had driven about an hour to the venue, it was nice just to sit down after a long day of work. If it was a weekend show, I probably would have wished everyone would have stood up. I had more energy and was more excited, but it was nice to sit down, see. No one had a problem really with seeing anything. Everyone in the loge could see. The balcony too, same thing. It's not bad. It's not a bad view for a balcony. Still a very intimate venue. There were some empty seats in the back, but hopefully they continue to come back to College Street Music Hall for more shows. So definitely like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think as far as some of you fans maybe just getting into Umphrey's. Many of you fans I know that have commented, I appreciate your comments, that are a lot deeper than I am in your journey with Umphrey's and not in the honeymoon stage, which I think I'm in right now. As far as I could listen to this band all day. I could chase this band for 5 or 6 shows if I had the vacation time and then I had the freedom to do so. Without other obligations I have. But, it's definitely a great point in my experience of being a fan of this band, definitely watch my videos. I have 2 up. I have 2 that I think I'm going to put up, which is, I believe, one of the songs that was quite long. I had to reset my camera for 10 seconds and continue it on. So I'll put that up as well from set 2 coming up very shortly. But thank you guys for watching, and I am out.